You need to create a vision and you need to stick to it. You need to write it down. You need to hone it. You need to tear it up and start over sometimes. This particular time period has been great for that, for me really to take a hard look at the things that have worked for me and the things that haven't worked for me. And not just working now, but also throughout my career, looking backwards. Look at old menu items. How do you tweak them? How do you make things new again? That's been actually cathartic for me. The one thing in my career that I've never had is downtime. I've always been going since I started cooking when I was 15. It's allowed me to be a little bit self-introspective and really put myself in a position to kind of start again. Human connectivity is ultimately all we have. If we all just spent a little bit more time thinking about how connected we really are, ultimately, the world would be a better place. Business and life, for me, they dovetail. What I found throughout the years, particularly doing cooking competitions and judging cooking competitions, it's been that when you put yourself in a place of vulnerability, you suddenly make yourself much more likable. It's gotten me closer to the people that I surround myself with because they can see that, I'm a regular guy. I'm not afraid to say the mistakes that I've made. It doesn't make me any worse. Those mistakes have made me stronger. And it's taken a lot of years of therapy, by the way, to understand those things. There's a certain level of guilt that I had by wanting to be better, by wanting to be more, by disappointing people around me because they didn't understand why I just didn't want to stand in a kitchen all day, all the time. Why do you want to build another company? Why do you want to create these tiers of restaurants instead of just create one restaurant and do it well and shut your mouth and get in the kitchen? I had one investor say to me one time, if it wasn't for us, you'd be nothing but a plumber. And so for me, that was what great motivation, right? I literally on the wall behind him, I saw this is my opportunity to get out from under this person. And I can really do what I want to do at that point. Those are the pivotal moments in your career where you can look at that situation and say, you know what, fine, I'm just going to stay in the kitchen. Who am I to want to do more? And that's ridiculous. You're selling yourself short at that point. You have one life and you should pursue it. If you have a talent, you have a responsibility to that talent to move it forward. You have to pursue it too. As high and as far and as big as you can get it, you have a responsibility to do that, I believe. And that's what I tell anyone who will listen to me. I'm a relationship guy. I see the benefit of nurturing relationships all the time, and I always have. I don't make it about me, I make it about we, to quote Muhammad Ali. It's really hard to find that great lawyer who's about being on your side and not looking for the hourly rate. That's really important. Really important to identify that great accountant who's looking out for your best interest when it comes to your books. Really looking out for someone who is on your side, whether it be an assistant or an operations manager. I always say you can't breathe yesterday's breath, right? You're not going to be able to take that moment back, but you can prepare yourself moving forward from the lessons of yesterday. And what I always try to tell the people that are talking to me about these things, I always say, listen, let me have made the mistake so you don't have to make the mistake moving forward. I love to talk about business. I love to structure deals in my mind, but you can't negotiate in a vacuum. So you need to have those conversations about what makes sense. And I feel like throughout the negotiation period, when you are going to be with a business partner, you really need to have those hard conversations. I have been in the situation where I don't have conversations with my business partners, and it leaves both me and them to fill in the blanks in our own minds. And I think all of us, myself included, can totally be our own worst enemy, creating that victimhood, so to speak, if we're left to our own devices. Our goal in this restaurant group, in this management company, is to make people happier on their way out the door. It doesn't mean that we can forego our own integrity to make that person happy. I always say we need to live within the confines of who we are. And as long as we're living inside these confines, then we can do anything we want to make that customer happy. There's a big difference between service and servants, right? We aren't servants. We're in the service business, not the servant business. So I think that it's important to qualify these things. You can get good food anywhere. No one goes to a restaurant anymore where the food is great and the service is poor, right? All of us go to restaurants where the service makes us feel good and it makes us happy to be there, right? Food is a follow-up to the service experience. right? And if you can get them both right, that's when you're winning. Don't look at the money. Don't do anything for the money. Don't sign the deal for the money. And I have made that mistake. I've signed deals for money and they don't work out. Now, I'm working for a living, right? I'm not in the financial world. If you work for a living, like most of us do, for me, money is a byproduct of work done well, right? If you go out and you're pursuing money, you're always going to fail. You're always going to fail. And it's never going to be fulfilling, right? Because there's something dirty inside there that just, at least for me, that just doesn't work. In another lifetime, I would be, you know, my greatest aspiration is to sit on a mountaintop and meditate like a Buddhist monk or a hippie, one or the other. But ultimately, I'm too materialistic.